Alright, we're gonna have a blast of an episode today, and I'm gonna be talking about work. How to achieve the workaholic speed, the supersonic speed of doing everything you ever wanted and achieving the ultimate success. Tell you one secret though, work is on the 7th place of what you have to do. And there are 6 more things way more important, at least on my list, than work, but which are still linked to work. And when work strikes and you have to be successful, you nail those points, and you just gotta nail work as well. It's just gonna be one of those points in life. Because if you really calculate life, most of the time you're not working. Even if you think you are working, you're probably just a helper somewhere. On some tasks, you're just a helper, just a bot. You're not relevant, okay? Someone who manages things, he's actively in a position of active work. He has a lot of responsibility, and he has accumulated a lot of power. And now the other way around, it's the responsibility that gives you power. The correct type of responsibility will attract people that will give away the power, right? If your responsibility works and generates income, you can, employ people now. You have the power now. But you also have to be responsible with the money that you're earning. So that's what's up. It's the first thing that I've said, Great responsibility comes great power. Not the other way around. So mix those up. Next up, on the next episode, we're going to talk about existence timeline. The clock. Okay? Does it start with Adam and Eve? Does it? It's a very interesting concept that I found. What is man and woman in the very beginning of time? And how do we find ourselves? Where are we as humanity? Where did you appeared for 100 years? Or possibly less. Living 100 years, that's a very weird amount of time to live. Most of the time it's kind of random. It's really hard to actually understand what life is. Besides, you're trapped in this body, whether you like it or not, right? There is an escape button, but it's too difficult to comprehend. There is life that you can enjoy, but it's too complicated to take everything that you want. Need life for death is appealing, but then there's also the third thing where you can trap yourself into infinity. Ugh. Existence sucks. Anyways, let's focus on this. Work. Oh boy. So up to the 7th point, mostly we're focusing on work. Alright, so what was your old work? So we're gonna climb up, right? Procrastination being the most important thing. Why is procrastination the most important thing to work? Well, it's weird, right? Why would you wait to work? Well, it's like archery. You just aim and shoot. The shot itself doesn't actually take as much time as aiming. That's what procrastination is. It's aiming. Where's a good opportunity? Take a shot. You're probably gonna miss it, so you take a lot of just aim again in a different sort of manner. You're trying to get the feeling of the aiming. You're trying to get that feeling of doing great work in a fast pace when everything is right, when everything is working right, everything feels right. When everything feels right, you can make a boom, but otherwise, procrastinate. Yes, that's the way to do the creeper, okay? Do the creeper. Just wait, be silent, but when you have the right opportunity, explode. And make sure they die from that explosion. That's the way to do it. Do the creeper. Alright, so my old work is amazing, right? Doing the Creeper's Forge, getting up on the meme, right? I'm set up. I have the meme in the bag. Even though nobody, Creeper's Forge is too small to actually be a meme. This is my background, right? This is what I've done. I can tell a cool story about myself. Just I made ninja stuff before that, so always keeping up with those memes that I always knew what people want. That's all I'm saying, okay? Everyone wants to do a Naruto run on Area 51, and maybe this is Area 52 here. We'll never know. I'll just have to play with numbers and figure out how to make myself a meme. But that's not exactly what this is about, but it probably is. You just have to take care of it. You have to appreciate your whole work. And you have to have it. Because you never know when you have to come back. Right? In my case, I don't have to come back. GameMaker sucks. Unity sucks. So I'm making my own engine. I'm moving huge blocks, okay, just to be able to have my own system that I'm fully familiar with and it works. And most importantly, ray tracing. I know it's the future, but where is it? I can't find the future, guys. It's so annoying. It's like, where's that new Minecraft? Hytale? Where is it? I can't find it, okay? I want to play Hytale. I want to play the next Minecraft. But like, what the fuck? So I'm doing the best I can to get familiar with ray tracing. I know my project is gonna fail against the huge things that other people do, and that's my next point. People build uncanny traps. Right? I actually don't remember what the point actually was, but I know that people will pull you into uncanny territory. There might be an opportunity for you to get into a team to work for some huge company, but you shouldn't do that as eagerly as you would like to, because working in a team is a team's work. You're not welcome most of the time. You're just not welcome. And even if you have this super amazing skill, you just have to be able to adopt new skill of working in a team. And big productions, huge competition, and the Uncanny Valley means that a lot of work fails, right? And only huge companies can actually get to the other side of those ultimate failures, where a lot of effort, but they don't capture the essence. It's very simple to capture the essence in the early stage where the game is too small to actually be judged. But when it's big, when a lot of work has to be put, it is a scary territory. So people will create these traps. I'm not sure about early though. That's a question. But there are traps. So you also have to be aware of that uncanny thing. You know, even if you don't care much, and you're willing to dedicate your life, and maybe you have your whole team set up, it still doesn't secure the fact that you will have to go across the uncanny. Your team will suck at a certain point in time, and you'll have to be cool with it if you want to cross it. Most of the time I would say no. 100% of the time, uncanny is never good to cross. Avoid uncanny. Go away. Don't do it. It's gonna trigger you a depression state. It's gonna do so many bad things to you, even if you're not releasing the game, because your game is always released. Whatever your game state is, even if it's unplayable, your game is always released. Even if it's not released, it's on your fucking face. There's no way to hide anything that exists, right? So whatever you're doing, avoid the uncanny. You know, the bad guy will always appear, will always kick your face. The only way that people go across the uncanny is be completely unaware of it. Yes, the magic floating carpet is real, but that's for them, right? Is that extra success that people create this magical carpet out of intention. It's just a cloud of incredible work that you've already put, and people have seen you because you have been sitting on the peak and you have meditated and worked on yourself and did all the things to prepare yourself and whatever. You just enjoyed life. Because on the other side of the uncanny, you be a super professional, good for nothing. Only the thing that you have mastered. It's a weird life to live if you don't have fans, if you don't have incredible support. Backup? Yes, please. But you have to think about it. Again, do you want to work in a team, or do you want to work alone? Most of the time the answer is work is nature, which is not the answer that you want just yet. Stay on the stair. Backup is about investment, right? What kind of gear do you want? What kind of equipment, tools? What videos you're gonna watch? Who are you gonna follow? Directions, things. Whoa, Jesus Christ! You need backup to put everything together. At the same time, there's that other choice of how many people you're going to be involved with, and how you're going to agree on that essential thing that you're going to work together with. It's so fucking insane. I choose to work alone. I probably would change my mind if I find people easier to work with, but I don't, so I work alone, right? Regardless of my personality. My personality has nothing to do whether I am working in a team or not. It has nothing to do. It's the people. They're terrible at working together. At this certain point in time, they're terrible. I hate it that I don't have the choice at this point. It's a weird thing. I still have the choice in terms that, well, if it's difficult, it's still the same choice, because other people will find it difficult as well. So if you're capable of creating a team, yet again you have the same opportunity. So it does slightly depend on a personality. I tend to choose the naturally easy way out. So I guess I could change my perspective at this point. It's weird, right? It is weird. What other people want is undefined. You must always know that. Market is undefined. And what you're gonna find yourself doing most of the time is keep on searching on the gaps of what people want. By entertaining yourself. What do you want? You know? Do you get delivered what you want? Because as long as you get delivered what you want, you can never define what people want, right? You can be a businessman about it and force people to want things, but that requires a lot of power, and a lot of it goes to waste. So let's not do the greedy move and actually figure out what people want and do the right trades. But right now it's very undefined of what people want, and you can look at the trends, you can get the feeling for it, but it takes a lot of work that you wouldn't consider work. Well, the next part is very basic. Work is nature. The most important principle of work is that it's natural. You will naturally want to work on something, not to be bored. And sometimes, and most of the time, it should be exciting, right? It should be passion that drives you to do things instead of just whatever else you can think of. If it's not passion, like, who cares? Who cares? Because the first thing is, like, you have to want to do it, and then you don't have to worry about failing ever. And if you're successful, you want to do it because other people want to do it. That's fine. Right? But I should never, I don't want to see, it's like, oh, I've been inspired by these comments. I want to see people being inspired by the amount that they earn, right? That's when you can throw even more money at them and, like, oh shit, they're doing an even better job because they're even more passionate. Something like that. But throwing ideas, that's the most interesting thing, is coming up with ideas. That's when you know when someone is passionate, right? They have a lot of ideas. It's so fucking insane to me. How obvious it is. How easy it is to judge people. And most important thing that this point covers, is personality. You're capable of changing your personality and squeezing more efficiency in work, but you shouldn't do it. You should get a feel of what personality is first, what happens when you change it, and in a team environment, you're going to be judged a lot. That's how people get to know each other. But at the same time, that's where people get pushed into a corner to be well-defined. If someone can define you very well, they will choose to do it. Because it's easier that way for them to understand. And they want to define you, and they will push you. They will judge the fuck out of you. They create a cube out of you, so you could be placed in a certain location in their mind, so they don't have to worry about you. But that's the whole point. You must never give up to that judgment. Never. You have to keep your personality straight, so no one can define you, and people stop trying. That's when you know you win. But that's a whole nother topic, because personality is a huge thing. It's like if you were Jake Paul and everyone judged you, but you persevered and you came out on top. How powerful would that be? Jake Paul would never be able to do it, obviously. It's too much shit that he have done, but he has a huge opportunity. Just wouldn't know how to deal with it. The next 6 things are not actually work related. They're just very important, much more important than the work itself, right? Food. How do you manage food? Hot pizza. That's all you need to know. Pizza covers all the foods that you can think of, which is meat, wheat, and cheese, I guess, which is only tasty when it's hot, so that's when you know that your food has to be hot. That's it. That's the best solution that I found, but like, yeah, it's probably the only solution. And soups is a bit more complicated. It's really cool. Soups are really cool, but way too complicated. And this is where you get into a food limbo where you don't know what to do, but you want it so badly. It's a really, really tough thing to perfect your diet. The most important thing about diet, don't worry about it. That's when you know you mastered it. If you can make sure you're not worrying about it, because that's the second on the list. Do what bothers you. Sleep on it. Whatever you do, whatever work you're doing, you must be able to rest at any point, and work gets even more excited because you get to sleep at the end. And the most important thing that it teaches you is that you're not supposed to like leave unfinished business. You're not supposed to worry too much when you're sleeping, because the best way to sleep is just, oh, I've done everything, bam, you just drop down and sleep, whatever, and you be happy about it. And it's like, it's almost like you meet a lot more people when you sleep, so you get to share your experience of life with the thing. It's like a world of plushies that you're meeting, and you can share all the great days experience with that world. It's a weird thing, and you must appreciate it to the fullest. Ability to rest and ability to dream, much more important than work itself, right? What's even more important? Planning. Knowing where you are and what you're doing. What's your next step? Being able to nail it down to your head. What is going to be the next thing that you want to do? And that thing is, it's just, it gets closer and closer. There are so many ways to plan things, so many ways to map things out, but that's what also makes you get lost very quickly, right? You are most of the time in the middle of the forest, not knowing what you're doing, and that's how I feel most of the time. Even though I have this huge project that I'm handling quite well, it works, which is the best thing ever. It works. It's ray tracing. It's unique, right? It's the future. It's something that I can brag about because, I'm familiar with it. I'm familiar with the future, right? And maybe people will recognize the same thing because I've done some work on it. It has a proof of work. But yeah, it's making lists of things that you want to do, the things that you've already done, and overall understanding where you are, of what you might need to do, right, to get to the next step. It's weird, and I still don't know how to do planning, because I never really tried too hard. Anyways, managing distractions. Not because you want to remove distractions, they are unavoidable. Life is better when you feel distracted, when you feel high on drugs or whatever. Everyone knows that. You can't escape that. So what you have to do is manage that instead of actually trying to cut it off. Right? If I'm addicted to YouTube or just playing games, just trying to escape work, that is the most natural thing that you're going to find yourself doing, is trying to run away from work as often as possible. So how do you manage that is the question. I find it very interesting where that's what you want to do. You want to distract yourself. So when the people find you or it's not the people. When the threat finds you, you're like, oh, I didn't know anything about that. Whenever there's some kind of threat in life, and it doesn't bother you, which is the second step, which is even more important. Like if there's a threat that bothers you, you do have to fix it. But if there's a threat that bothers you, and it just comes up, it shoots you in the face, it can kill you. You're not interested. It's like, oh, I never knew about that. I was distracted this whole time. I was distracted. Oh, I'm dead. Oh well. It's a life well lived. There's no problems as long as you manage them, the distractions properly. Do what bothers you. It's another way to say distractions, but no. It's more like you need to take a shower, you need to take food, you need to take sleep. It just nails down the points from below, but it's like even more than that. If you need to do something, if you need to fix something, it will bother you. It will start stealing time. Yeah. It will steal time. It's a thing, right? It's a thing that you want to fix. The biggest thing is that it will bother you most when you're capable of fixing it, when you're capable of making that decision. So that's when you have to do it, right? If I have a broken chair and the moment I know that I can fix it, oh shit, I have to do it. So it's very interesting, actually. It's very neat. The moment you can find information of how to fix it, the moment you're closer and bump into something, that's when it is going to start bothering you. That's amazing, right? If you can catch yourself doing that and start fixing those bothers. And again, most importantly, procrastination. Never let yourself down just because you started procrastinating. Never beat yourself up, that's the most important thing, is not even learning how to procrastinate, is procrastinating. Do it on purpose. Because life is meaningless. Most of the time, the meaning doesn't care to address itself. So you're gonna wait until meaning comes. Like, come on, something happened, That's what life is supposed to be about. It's like you just wait and you hope for something to happen that's interesting, that brings passion into your life. Something. You pray for it. You procrastinate as much as possible. It's amazing. It works so very well. Funny thing, it doesn't feel refined, but it works so well that it tells its own story. And when work is well done, it is multidimensional, right? It has self-defense, basically. It's incredible. It's unbeatable. So actually being successful means a lot of things. If you're successful and you fail to maintain that power, you're actually less successful than the people who just went through life and didn't had anything to worry about at all. That is deep topic, but I think I managed it. So thanks for watching.